Can banks actually create money? It sounds kind of crazy, but today we're going to dig in and find out.
We all think we know how banking works, right? But what if that common understanding is just wrong?
So, this is the story we all learn. But economists have actually been debating three very different theories.
Theory 1 sees banks as just middlemen, kind of like a warehouse for cash, simply moving it around.
Theory 2 is a bit different. Individual banks are still middlemen, but the whole system can create money.
And then there's the radical idea. Banks don't just move money, they actually make it, brand new.
Okay, so here's the big question. Are banks just passing around old cash, or are they creating it?
For decades, this was all just talk. But how do you even test it? Well, one researcher found a way.
You've probably seen this diagram in a textbook. Thing is, it was all theory, with no hard proof. The experiment was brilliant. Just get a real loan for 200,000 euros and watch the bank's books.
All right, let's get into it. Here's a look at the bank's balance sheet right before the loan.
And boom, here it is right after. Notice how both assets and liabilities just expanded out of nowhere?
The money didn't come from reserves, it wasn't transferred, it was just created, typed into a computer.
The result was undeniable. That radical credit creation theory, turns out, it was right all along.
So banks create money from thin air. You might be asking, why does that actually matter? Well, this is huge.
It matters because the very rules meant to keep our economy safe are based on the wrong idea.
Let's look at the Basel Accords. It's the international rulebook designed to stop financial crises.
But here's the problem. Those rules assume banks are just moving money around, not creating it. A massive flaw.
And don't just take my word for it. Here, the regulators themselves show they're using that outdated theory. If banks create credit, rules that just focus on capital are totally missing the real source of risk. Which leaves us with a pretty unsettling question. If the rules are all based on a myth, how safe are we?